And welcome back to the Digital Cash Evolution. And we do have our guest on the line, and we'll get to him in just a second. Um, this show is about the Bitcoins and the Bitcoin accessories and Bitcoin gravy and all these other things. So, John, tell us about that. Tell us about the Bitcoins and gravy.
I'll tell you what, guys, I think it's so important that we open up a new conversation every time we talk about Bitcoin, because I keep hearing people isolate the conversation into Bitcoin the currency, Bitcoin the currency, Bitcoin the currency. And so a lot of people out there are thinking, this is just a digital internet currency. I'm fine with my US dollars. I'm fine with my plastic. I don't need this. What they don't realize is that what was invented in 2009 is the largest cryptographically secured network the world has ever seen. We're looking at a decentralized global consensus mechanism. That means if I change something on my public ledger, it gets changed over in Tokyo, it gets changed over in Sydney, Australia. What we're dealing with here is blockchain tech, and it's complicated. It's difficult to understand in lots of ways, but what's important is to realize that we're looking at the recorded information and the sharing of information. We're looking at a platform that allows people to share information, not just money. So we're talking about something that stands to disrupt not just banking and Wall Street, but also everything that has to do with law, legal, land, titles, trusts, deeds, things like that, everything in healthcare, supply chains. So we're looking at something that's incredibly disruptive, this blockchain tech, specifically Bitcoin and all these others. But it's funny because the conversation keeps going back to just the token, Bitcoin, money, money, money. This is not all about money. We're looking at the internet of information, the internet of value, the internet that's decentralized in the truest sense that we actually don't have today. So it was mentioned that we, to give an example, the internet is decentralized. Well, sadly, less and less that's true. We see the big players trying to monopolize. We see a lot of censoring on the internet now, not just in China, but here in the U.S., right? So we're building a decentralized internet. And it's probably the most exciting thing that's happened in world history, certainly in my life. Some people are saying it's as important, as significant as the invention of the printing press or the Industrial Revolution. So this is kind of like a new Industrial Revolution. So in talking about it, let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. And that is, again, the largest cryptographically secured network the world has ever seen. And we can peer-to-peer, person-to-person, we can send value back and forth. We can confirm information in a way that we were never able to prior to 2009 when this new computer technology was invented. And then on top of this great technology sits these tokens, right? And we can talk about those tokens, but those are just the first apps that sit on top of this amazing new computer technology. And I think that's really important to get to people when we start this conversation. And I think that the people I talk with, that draws people in, and they say, it's more than just a kooky internet currency. And I say, yes, much more than that. And it is actively changing the world right now that we live in.
Yeah, I know. A good example of that, I guess, would be like Bill Gates. He's out there talking all kinds of smack about Bitcoin, but at the same time, he's investing heavily in Factom, which is securing medical records in Africa. Yeah, can you talk about that?
Yeah, on the Bitcoin blockchain. So, yeah, Paul Snell, I've interviewed him twice on the show. I love Paul. Was invited twice to his conference there, the Texas Bitcoin Conference. I love going to that. Missed it last year, sadly. But, yeah, if you can take documents and you can hash those documents, and if anyone, doesn't know what hashing means, a simple way to look at it is you take a complex document, a legal document, and you create a thumbprint of that using cryptography, a branch of mathematics that crunches numbers. It's a simple way to put it. So these documents have thumbprints called hashes, and you can then take them and put them right on the Bitcoin blockchain, and they can live there. So it may be a legal document about someone's marriage. It may be a birth or death certificate. It may be a land deed to prove that you own that land or what have you. But once it's on that blockchain, what people don't understand is it's never going away. It's immutable. The blockchain is immutable. You can't change it. This is something that it's open. It's decentralized, as was mentioned, orderless, censorship resistant, and neutral. So anybody can use this. Not just the good guys. Yet the bad guys will use it too.
Well,
But,
they use cash more than anything. So
yeah.
if you're a bad guy out there trying to do something with just these ledgers, you probably shouldn't be doing that, because you're securing the evidence against yourself. So that's not really a great idea.
Absolutely. And I always say, with a decentralized system, like a truly decentralized internet or trading platform or what have you, those exist now, and they're coming more and more. I say there will always be bad players. We cannot get rid of the bad people in the world. But thankfully, most people are good people. Most people want the same thing, right? They want food and shelter for their families. They want a better life. They want a vacation once a year if they can afford it. And the bad players, they're going to keep doing what they do. And the good people in every community, they have ways of discouraging that bad behavior and incentivizing the good behavior. And so that's really where we're headed. And these are exciting times. I'm just on fire with how exciting this technology is.
Yeah, definitely. So, when you got going there in Memphis, sorry, I said Nashville. That's a terrible.
No, Nashville. I'm in Nashville.
Okay, you're in Nashville. Anyway, you were working with local businesses and stuff too, trying to get those going. Can you talk about that? Some of the people that actually sponsored you, and talk about what's going on there.
Well, I can tell you, Nashville has really grown in leaps and bounds in terms of blockchain tech and in terms of Bitcoin. So we had BTC Media came out of Alabama a couple of years ago. That's David Bailey and Callie Bailey, and then their whole crew now, which has just grown so quickly. And they're now in the Pinnacle building downtown. BTC Media bought the LTV network from Adam B. Levine 2 years ago, I guess it is. And they've just grown so big here in Nashville that they've been a great influence for us here. We have like 4 or 5 Bitcoin Ethereum meetups here. We have Hashed Health, which is the brainchild of John Bass, who is it's been in healthcare with Vanderbilt University and other universities for many, many years. And that is basically, Hashed Health is basically working to help businesses understand how to use blockchain tech in healthcare specifically. So just seeing these things coming to Nashville and the Distributed Health Conference, we've had 2. We have another one this year. So the 3rd Distributed Health Conference that brings in healthcare professionals, educators, speakers from all over the world. That's here at the Schermerhorn Symphony Center every year now. And that's been really exciting. And those numbers grow, and the speakers that show up for that are phenomenal. And I broadcast from there every year. But we're seeing kind of an explosion. We don't have anywhere near really the tech that a city like Austin has, but we're growing. We're getting there. We have lots of little groups around town that are learning to code, that are teaching people to code in and out of the schools. And so, it's really growing. As far as small businesses, though, accepting Bitcoin as actual, Bitcoin payments, sadly, after all these years, we only have one that I know of. It's Flight. It's fine dining and wine or something like that. And I've been there before. I interviewed Scott Sears, one of the owners on the show. But that's sadly the only business here in Nashville that I know of that actually accepts Bitcoin payments. But we're working on it. We've got our Tuesday night Bitcoins and beer. We got a good, strong crew of bearded men here in Nashville, and we are we're hell bent on getting some pubs and other places around Nashville to accept Bitcoin payments.
Awesome. Yeah, I know here in Phoenix, I've been frequenting this pizza joint because I can buy pizza and beer and whatever else is for sale there in the establishment with Dash or Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever coin you got. He'll take it over there at Classic Crust Pizza. And, last Wednesday or last Tuesday, it was the 22nd, and I went into the pizza shop, and there were literally more people paying with cryptocurrencies than there were paying with fiat in this guy's shop. So, and this was over a period of we were there like 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, we've kind of turned that into a Bitcoin hub here in Phoenix. There's a lot of the locals that are involved come in and out of there.
And if you're out there listening and you have a business and you're not accepting Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, you should go ahead and look into doing that. And we'll definitely highlight you on the show here and talk about you, try to get people in, and maybe you can have meetups there. And people who use cryptocurrencies are very loyal, and they will come and spend their money with you. Even if it's not crypto, they will come and spend your dollars with you just because you're accepting it. You're one of them, kind of, And
cool, man, I'm so jealous of your pizza place, man. So jealous.
yeah, this guy, he's so into it. He developed his own point of sale, which was pretty interesting. He calls it Pizza Lightning Beer, and it's just got these little buttons on it. If you want to pay with the Lightning Network, you push Lightning. If you want to pay with, or if you want to buy pizza, you just touch the little pizza icon. If you want to buy beer, you touch the beer icon. And that's it. There's nothing else on the face of it, but it's really simple and easy to use. We'll be right back.